I was born under the sign of Uranus, the stag-faced savage god of the wilderness and the hunt, to the Paleo-Celtic cultures. I was born to be a hunter, and a hunter I am. Such is the way of our people, since before we struck fire from the living rock. Let me tell you a hunting story. Tex Grebner here with Tex Grebner Outdoors. Welcome to another edition of Illinois Archery Season 2014. Every day of hunting is exactly the same, but every day of hunting is just a little bit different. I was hunting a farm property that I had access to, just a cattle pasture with a few trees in it, and a creek running through the middle. I made my way down the glade, watching and listening, scanning the flats below me as I made my way as carefully as I could and as quietly as I could down the almost vertical slope. Occasionally I would see movement in the trees, but I could not be sure if it was a squirrel. The wind was blowing at gale force in my face, and as I moved, primal emotions were stirred in me, and my excitement was heightened when I reached the flat. The frigid air was not such a huge deal because I was moving. And then I caught a flash of movement out the corner of my eye. It was a squirrel, and as an opportunistic hunter, I took a shot. But my shot went wide as the arrow ricocheted off the tree, and as I retrieved the arrow, other movement caught my eye. There was a young doe across the creek, and at this point, my passion for the hunt affected my judgment, because I attempted to get closer to her by crossing the frozen creek, moving as slowly and carefully as I could. My care would prove to be not nearly enough. The ice began to crack, and just like in a cartoon, when a man walks off of a cliff and realizes that he has thin air under him, I made that face. With wet boots, I slid across the ice. But luckily I was wearing wool, which retains insulation value when wet. I did my best to heat my body again, and then pursued the stalk foolishly. But with wet boots, in sub-freezing weather, my attention was not what it should be, and the doe evaded me, moving faster than I should. I spooked her out of her bed, and a twang of a fence wire told me that she had left the pasture. My boots were beginning to freeze, and I had to cross the creek yet again. But I made sure to check one hollow of the cattle pasture just to ensure that I had not overlooked any deer. And then, to bring life back into my freezing feet as to not lose any toes, I ran up the glade. This hunt had turned into a survival exercise and a reality check. Do not be reckless when the weather is cold. As always, God bless all my sportsmen of America. Join the NRA to protect our rights. Please check out my friends over at legallyconcealed.org. Thank you very much to those of you involved in law enforcement and those of you serving in the military. Thanks for watching Tex Grebner Outdoors.